Oh, Star Wars has a new show, you say? And Star Wars has a bunch of little children on screen, and it's probably for babies? Shall I review it? I believe I shall. That is right, friends. I'm the man you may know as Z from My Reviews Will Kill You, and I watched the first 2 episodes of Skeleton Crew. It was bumped up because I guess they're just so pleased with this show. They think maybe it'll do good. And 2 episodes in, I'll be damned if I don't like it. Now, save the daggers for later. We'll get there. This is going to be a spoiler review, so I'm going to spoil some things. But we want to. There's not much of a plot, which is fine for what I'm looking for after watching all of the Acolyte. and what's interesting, after Disney bought Disney and created Disney Star Wars, they're looking for a new direction and what to do with it. And while this show doesn't necessarily make me think of a Star Wars show, because it's like based in Star Wars technology, like if you were going to expand Star Wars and you were looking for a clean slate and you wanted to do something completely different, this is what you do. And I think people could have been happy with it. And it's a shame it took them so long to get there. I mean, Mandalorian was pretty close to a fresh start because you get this whole Western thing. And then by season 3, it was just god-awful. And you get the Book of Boba Fett, which was just a hot disaster. And 2, I've heard many people say that the Star Wars universe is too small, that there's just not a lot going on with it. And here, this is something that completely takes the lore and kind of flips it on its head because it doesn't feel anything like Star Wars. We're not really worried about Star Wars-y stuff other than there are droids and aliens. This felt like more of a space adventure. But let's take a look at some articles. We're going to look at least one review to maybe not counter mine, but we'll take a look at it. How to watch it? Obviously, it's on Disney+. I'm sure it might show up other places like Hulu and such things. The season finale will air on there are 8 episodes. We have to January 14th. The big selling point was Jude Law. And yes, there are 4 children in it. I will say that the showrunners are Jon Watts and Christopher Ford. Jon Watts did direct a handful of Mandalorian episodes, and I'm pretty sure he's the same guy who directs Spider-Man. So he's not completely lost in the sauce here. And basically, it doesn't even matter where it takes place in the timeline. It's kind of not real. It's not super important. It's like a little bit of the mystery of what's going on. The plot is very basic. 4 kids are trying to get back home after getting lost in a galaxy far, far away. And it is kind of amusing how everything unfolds. At first, I found the kids to be a little annoying, and maybe they're supposed to be because, they're kids, and you need other things to carry you need adults to carry the kids through the series. But they're saying the Variety, or their TV critic, called it a purely nostalgic kids adventure. While the charm of its cast and their infectious sense of wonder goes a long way towards selling the endeavor. I don't disagree with that. As of right now, I'm pretty happy with what I got. The first episode was like, this one kid's got his head in the clouds, and he wants to be a Jedi, and he reads all these stories about Jedi, and he thinks it's cool to be a Jedi. And then you meet his little friend who's not Max Rebo. He's this little blue guy. I don't know anybody's names, by the way, because they don't do enough of a job of setting them up or giving them names. The episodes are very short. They're like 30-something minutes with an awful lot of credits. But by the end of the first episode, they've already left, they're in, it's so weird because they're in, suburban Star Wars. And that's not something you would expect to see. But you get a lot of the same familiar aliens and the familiar droids, and they talk about the New Republic or what have you. and it's just very strange. I will say, too, that the show opened, I would have said it was for babies, but the show opened in an extremely violent way, which was interesting. They had these pirates take over a ship, which is something we've never seen, really, from Star Wars. Like, people boarding ships. We've seen people board ships like Darth Vader, but not like this, where they're like they're like taking over the ship like they're old-time pirates. They're shooting gangplanks in there, and they're walking in, shooting, and they're taking tethers and flying across space and attaching it to gun turrets, and attaching explosives and all sorts of stuff. So you get this pretty big action opening sequence, and it was pretty interesting. Like, it was way more violent than I was expecting, because I was 100% expecting this to be like Goonies in space. But it definitely seems more PG-13 than I would have thought. There's, dead dudes all over the place. It's a little scary. And then they find this pirate guy. The pirate captain is basically gets betrayed, and then we find out who he is. There's no surprises in this, but so far it's been interesting. So then the kids, we flash back to the kids. The kids end up finding a spaceship. They go get. They essentially activate it, and then because there's like a droid girl, like one of those Borg girls, or she's like the person with the Borg implant from Cloud City. Essentially, we don't know why. We don't know if that's a race of people. I don't know. I'm a pretty big Star Wars fan, but I'm not like the number one lore guy who knows everything. So here you have this girl. And she's helping them they essentially activate the ship by accident. And the ship ends up going into hyperdrive because the one kid who's real dumb ends up hitting the button and is like, we're going into hyperspace, yay! And then they're in big trouble because they have no idea where they are. And they activate a droid. I really like this droid, SM-33. I hope they'll do more with him. That's Nick Frost doing the voice. He's very good, very fun. And he's like, oh, I need to do captain. So the one girl steps up and says she's the captain, which is funny. And then he takes them to a pirate seaport, essentially, spaceport. They go, and the kids just start acting like dopes, doing real dumb kid things, where the one girl who's like the captain is like, could you be any stupider? She's like literally telling them like, don't go anywhere, don't do anything stupid, don't say anything stupid, don't mess with anybody, and everybody's gone like a bunch of dumb kids. And of course, the kid who's a real dumbass with the little blue kid, they end up trying to order food, which is hysterical, and they give out money, which is supposed to be his lunch money, but it's like old Republic, pure whatever credits, and they're like freaking out about it. And it's all well done. The action sequences were pretty cool. The droid ends up coming to pick up the kids and defend them. I mean, why the kids would be? They just wanted to ask for directions, and they can't even get that. And everyone that they tell about their planet at Aden is like, that's not a real place. It's fake. So they don't know what's going on. They have no idea how to get home or who to tell. They end up getting arrested and put in the brig by the pirates, and that's where they meet Jude Law, the captain, who, against, obviously I'm spoiling the whole plot here, but may or may not have been a Jedi. Ooh. But that's cool. Like, he's not connected to anything. Like, maybe he's just a Force user. Who knows? Maybe he's a former Jedi. I'm sure we will unravel all these mysteries and more as we go along. But I have watched every single Star Wars thing that has come out. This was not bad. And let's just go quickly to IGN, because they reviewed it too. And I didn't check out like everybody's, because it got dumped a little early. All the mainstream media people all got advanced screeners, and their advanced screeners all gave them 3 episodes. And some people have been talking about a bait and switch. I have no idea. Can only go off the first 2 episodes, which I liked. And this guy from IGN apparently only got the first 2 episodes. And he says it's kind of nostalgic. It's inspired by Goonies, but it's not Goonies. It's not E.T. It's not Stranger. I don't really think it's Stranger Things. He agrees though. He says the opening scene of pirate brutality made sure it's a little darker than it probably should be. So it's not super duper for kids. I don't know. I was a little kind of put off for that. And his final score is his verdict is the way it stands now after these first 2 episodes. There's a lot of good momentum carrying Skeleton Crew forward. Goonies and Space Cast setup. Who's these kids who escape the suburban doldrums and find themselves hurtling toward adventure. The show will actually have to pay off its foreshadowed mysteries. We'll see what all that is. You can't just last on nostalgia alone. He gave it a 7. He says good. I'd almost give it an 8. Because like I said, the kids are annoying. And it's interesting because I just watched the Dear Santa movie. And Dear Santa depended way too much on the kids to carry the show. And I thought it was not very good. Whereas this knows just enough to get rid of the kids so that it's not too much kids, because the kids are super, like I said, they're kind of annoying, but you move them along to the next set piece. Don't let them talk too much. They can't act. That's just fine. Get them to the next action set piece or the next interaction where they're talking to adults, and then it's all fine. So I'll give it an 8 out of 10 for now. Let me know. Did you guys watch this? Give it a shot. You know, I am trying. I always try to be fair with everything I can do. You will definitely be a little annoyed by the kids, but if you give it some time and you're okay with the idea of like Goonies in space, then, you know, I think you might enjoy it. Give it a fair shake. Even if you're a Star Wars fan, it's kind of a breath of fresh air. It's something different, totally different setup. You're not worried about what's going on with the Empire and all that stuff. It's something totally different, something interesting. Smugglers, pirates, the whole 9 yards. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I do appreciate you watching this. Do the thing, you know, the like, the subscribe, all that great stuff. We do, if you join our channel, we have exclusive videos. We also have a full-length audio podcast you can catch every Friday that we stream live here on the channel. So you can come hang out with us and catch a drink and catch some other reviews and some news and entertainment and stuff. But as for myself, I am on to the next one. Thanks for catching the video. Be sure to join our channel to get the education you deserve. Make sure you check out our shorts, live streams, and catch us on all the socials. Don't forget to like and subscribe.